Buenas, buenas. Welcome to In the DAW. I'm Kevin Ochoa, and today we're going to talk about uploading to SoundCloud. Now, the reason why I'm talking about this is because MasterCheck was updated to now have the SoundCloud encoder. So, what I want to do is show you guys how to master and mix for SoundCloud using MasterCheck. So, what I've done is I've produced, mixed, and mastered a track and uploaded to SoundCloud without using MasterCheck, which is, how I would use FL Studio normally. And then I'm going to use MasterCheck to understand where the encoding problems happen when uploading to SoundCloud. And with knowing how my audio is going to be changed by SoundCloud, I'm going to come in to my mix and change certain levels of certain instruments and also change my master so that it suits SoundCloud better and that people who are listening to SoundCloud can actually listen to how I intended the music to sound like. Okay, so let's take a look at this song inside FL Studio. Okay, so we have a typical EDM big room house song with a lot of high end, a lot of white noise in the drop. So the reason why I wanted to show you guys white noise in a drop is because what SoundCloud does is distort a lot of the high frequencies and actually distort a lot of your side signal. So let's take a listen to the song inside SoundCloud. Okay, so as you guys can hear, this sounds like there's a phaser on my whole entire track. It also sounds like my side signal is being distorted and I'm losing some of my low end actually as well. And I can confirm this because once I'm in MasterCheck Pro, I can actually listen to what has been removed from my signal. So here's MasterCheck Pro and let's activate it. And what I'll do is I'll come to the presets up here and select SoundCloud. And what the SoundCloud preset is going to give us is the loudness normalization, which in SoundCloud's case is non-existent, and the encoder that SoundCloud uses. You're going to see that we're using the Opus VBR codec at 64 kbps. Did I say that yet? Right? Yeah. Now, if I come to Spotify's preset, you see that the normalization is set to minus 14 LKFS. So what this means is that something like SoundCloud is still like the Wild Wild West, and the loudness war is still going on inside SoundCloud. So if you're producing music that's a little bit more high energy, like dubstep, that's a bit more aggressive, you might want to compress your signal more and get a louder final master. But what I want to teach you guys today is that you should be aware that there's compression, lots of compression introduced by the SoundCloud codec. So let's hop into the SoundCloud codec by activating right here. And what I'm going to do is, first of all, set this to monitor. And let's take a listen to this buildup. Okay, I'm going to turn the codec off. Let's take a listen again. And as you can hear, there's a lot of things that are being distorted when it comes to my claps, and a lot of my information is being lost. So let's take a listen to this delta button right here. And what the delta button allows us to listen to is the difference between your original signal and what's being uploaded to SoundCloud. Let's take a listen to this. And as you can hear, there's a ton of information, like I said, on the claps, on the riser, and basically it's trying to remove as much unnecessary noise as possible for this codec. And, SoundCloud is just trying to save up storage space so it can provide more space for other users. That's one of the sad parts about streaming services. While they're great services to share music, they might not be the best sounding. So what we're going to do is try to fix our mix a bit. So let's go to the drop, which is the noisiest, loudest part of the whole song. And let's play this back. So as you guys saw there, I was actually seeing what the algorithm was doing to my final level. And as you guys can see, it was actually clipping. So now I need to either remove the amount of limiting I'm doing and also reduce the outputs of my limiter. So let's drop this to minus 0.5 minus, not plus. And let's take a listen to this again and reset the metering again by clicking on the numbers. Okay, so that's cool. I'm not clipping at plus 0.7, but now I'm clipping at minus or plus 0.2, 0.1. So it's not as bad as it used to be. So that's an improvement. So that was just simply done by reducing the amount of output my limiter had. Now, the next thing that I did notice was that my low end was kind of getting basically destroyed and removed from the signal. And I can confirm this by listening to the codec right here, or the difference between the codec. Let's listen to this. As you guys saw there in the visualizer, I'm also, of course, removing some of that high end, which I already spoke about, but the low end is also getting removed. So what I'm going to do now is open up this MSET, and I'm going to check where that piece of material is. And I can already kind of tell that it's very stereo, but if I go back to the MSET and mute the mid signal, of course, I need to turn the MSET on. You guys can hear that there's still some significant amount of bass signal on the side. So what I'm going to do is try to recover that. And I'm going to do that by using the mono filter. Now, the mono filter, I'm going to put it on the master simply because I don't want to put this, or I don't have the time to put this in every single channel that the bass is in, because these are multiple layer basses. And yeah, I have multiple different sub impacts that are also in stereo. So what I'm going to do is basically use the low end cutoff to bring this around 35 hertz to remove all that unnecessary frequencies. And then I'm going to use this other ankle point right here, to select the width. And when I bring the width down, I can make sure that everything below 100 hertz is mono. Now, this other anchor point allows me to select where things are going to become full stereo. and I want this to be happening around 200 hertz. You could even do a little bit more extreme, 250, but I prefer 200 hertz. Okay, so then I also select linear phase, and you can use HQ for mastering, but let's just keep it on linear phase for now. Okay, so now let's take a listen to this again with the monitor. So as you can hear, the mono doesn't just become a little bit more focused, a little bit cleaner for the kick drum to punch in, and also the bass becomes a little bit nicer to listen to, especially hits you right around the stomach area. But it also allows SoundCloud to not have to work so much in the stereo field. If I come back to the encoder, the the difference of the encoder plays back. You can hear it's quite a massive difference. So if you guys are at home listening with your subwoofers, you guys are definitely going to hear that tug from the bass that is definitely removed by SoundCloud before I included the mono filter on the signal. Okay. Now, oops, did I turn that off? All right. Now, the other thing that I wanted to address now is the high information. So, as you guys could hear in the original track that I had, there is quite a bit of high noise, but once I played it back in SoundCloud, it was just disproportionate. So, what I'm going to do is a couple things. I'm going to go into my pre-master and open up a Pro Q. You could also do this with another EQ that has side signal editing. And right here, I'm basically just going to remove some of the side signal after 9,000 hertz. And I just decided to have dynamic mode on because I didn't want to remove anything that was a little bit more quiet. You can definitely hear how the track focuses a little bit better in the mono signal, especially in the high end, and this gives us the kick click back. Let's play this again. Yeah, once I turn off the plugin, I just feel like everything is kind of moving in front of the kick. Is it click? So let's move that. Let's keep that on. Okay, now I want to address the elephant in the room, which is the white noise. So let's turn off this sucker, uh, probably a few dB down. That might be a tad bit too much. Let's just bring a little tiny bit of it in. All right, let's check it before sending it to SoundCloud. Okay, I feel like that definitely does a better job at keeping everything as I intended it to be. I'm going to upload this to SoundCloud and I'm going to compare it to the original mix I uploaded to SoundCloud versus this mix after I mix everything through MasterCheck Pro. Okay, so let's take a second and render this out. All right, it's done uploaded to SoundCloud. So let's listen to this back in comparison to the other track. Let's listen to the new one first. Okay, that sounds a bit more accurate to what I had. Actually, quite a lot. I'm quite impressed now. Let's listen to the one before MasterCheck. Okay, so first thing that I noticed is this new track does not sound as phasey as the other one. Yep, definitely less phasey. The other thing that I noticed was the focus on the low end is much greater in this one. And of course, we use the mono filter to focus a bit more in the low frequencies, but also there's a bit more smoothness, I feel, with this new master. Let's take a listen to them once again. Focus more on the low end this time. And also, it has a less stereo washy effect as the original one did. So overall, I'm very happy with the results. Oh yeah, and the white noise. Yeah, the white noise no longer is like the main instrument of the track as it was before. It's definitely a little bit more tucked behind the synth. Yeah, I definitely can hear a better quote unquote soundstage. So I can definitely hear that the kick drum's forward, the synth is a bit behind the kick drum, and then the white noise is coming from behind the room. So I definitely prefer this mix. So I'm overall very surprised and very happy I did this. So perhaps we could actually try this out in a different streaming service like Spotify. We just have to give ourselves a bit more time to actually upload the track to Spotify and take a listen to them. All right, that's going to be for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, that you learned something new today. Go ahead and check out MasterCheck Pro. Go download a demo from the Nugen Audio website. Don't forget to give us a like and subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more content on music production and audio engineering. Once again, I'm Kevin Ochoa with In the DAW, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.